So let's look at homework 9 now. This is on major scales. And the basic essence of a major scale is just using a pattern of whole and half steps. And that's this here. So if you do whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, it makes a major scale. You don't need to say S for a step, it's really just this. That's it. So how do we write out scales? Well, the C major scale, this first scale, is just already the major scale that we define everything from. So we don't have to change anything. We just hit in the notes, boom, and we're done. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Oops. Let's get a little ledger line there and C. Cool. Now, any other one, though, it's going to require some sharps to make things work. We can first just start out by writing the scale, because it's always going to have all the letter names of the scale. So we go G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Same thing here. A, B, C, D. Try to kind of line them up on each staff. E, F, G. Okay, then we have to ask yourself, is it a whole step from here? Yeah. Here, yep. Whole, whole, half. Half from B to C. Whole, whole. And this is not a whole right now, because from E to F, currently this is a half step. So to make it a whole step, we have to keep it as an F, because we have to go in alphabetical order. F, G, A, B. Rather, sorry, D, E, F, G. Has to keep this order. So I have to make it an F sharp. I can't make it a G flat, because if I did, it would go D, E, G flat, G. It would repeat letter names. So it's got to be like this. So whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, and now it works. Same thing happens in here. Just put a sharp down below. Let's move to D and do the same thing. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Ask yourself, is D to E whole step? Yeah. Is E to F? No. So we need to put this sharp in there to make it whole, whole. That makes a half, whole, whole. And from B to C is a half step. We know the white key half steps are from B to C and from E to F. These are half steps. So that's a half step. We don't want that. Whole, whole. To make this a whole, we have to actually sharp the C. And then C sharp to D is a half step. Same thing down here. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D. We need to sharp the C and sharp the F. Notice what's happened too, right? We have one sharp here. It's F sharp. And then when we go to the next key, we keep the F sharp. But we add another sharp. We add the C sharp. In each case, when we added this sharp at the end here, when we added the sharp at the end, it made the last step go from a whole step to a half step. F sharp going to G, C sharp going to D. And we're going to see this pattern every time we go to the next one of these keys down, another fifth higher. We have to add a sharp at the very end to fix the pattern so that it makes it a half step. And we keep the same sharps from the previous one. In other words, we accumulate the sharps. So let's go to this one, zoom in a bit. And remember, before we had F sharp, right? We had C sharp. And now we're going to need the sharp, really, that comes at the end of A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So we need a C sharp. We need F sharp. And from G to A, we need to actually make that a half step. It's a whole step at the moment. So we need to go G sharp. Now it works properly. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So you get the idea. There's a pattern here. We always, every time we go up a fifth, we have to correct the last note. We have to correct going from 7 to 8. This little hat thing here means scale degree. Just means scale note number. We always end up having to sharp the 7th. And then we keep the previous sharps. So 1, sharp the 7, 2, keep previous sharps. So we had F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp in this one. And let's see what happens now. In the key of E, we go E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. I have to sharp the F sharp, and the G sharp, and the C sharp. And now we have to sharp the 7 to 8. To make this go to be a half step. Okay, so then our new sharps are F, C, G, and D. What do you think they're going to be for the next key? Well, next key is 5 up from E, E, G, B. And you guessed it, it's going to have all the previous ones. F, C, G, D, and it's going to have the one that we need that comes right before our tonic, right before the B, because it's going to be needed to make it go from a whole step from A to B to a half step, A sharp to B. So here it is, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then one higher, B. Let's sharp the ones we previously had. And now I sharp the A. F, C, G, D, A. Notice the sharps 2 are moving up by fifths. F, A, C, C, E, G, G, B, D, and D, F, A. If we keep on going through this process, we're just going to keep on adding sharps until we have all 7 notes sharp. So once we get to the next 2 keys, we're going to run out and we're going to have all 7 sharps, which is F, C, G, D, A. 5 up from A is E, A, C, E, and E, G, B. And that's all the sharps, all 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we sharped any more than 7, having only 7 letters, then we would just have kind of a nonsense keys, right? We're sharping letter names that don't exist, and we're just going to get double sharps and stuff in scales.